To my beautiful Taurus Risings, I see you. I know how chill you like to be, how you like the good things in life when things are flowing. Well, this month of June 2023 is a very important transitional point of the year for you. I'm going to talk about a couple dates and interesting things that are going to happen. When we get to June 3rd here, the beginning of the week, there's a full moon that's happening in the sign of Sagittarius, a mutable sign. The moon will be in Sagittarius. The sun will be in Gemini. They'll be opposite of each other. That is a full moon. And it's happening in the part of your chart that deals with, in a sense, a chill place, a mysterious, quiet place. Technically, we deal with inheritances at times here and other people's resources that we're connected to. There's a deeper story sometimes of what we fear. Anyway, how we connect with other people's resources, this will be, in a sense, illuminated and on June 5th. And not only that, it's interesting because at that day, Mercury will be it's still in the sign of Taurus, which has been a huge transit for you. It's been 2 months now. It came out of a retrograde, and on that day of the full moon, Mercury is going to be really close and conjunct the planet Uranus in Taurus, and so there's flashes of inspiration with communication that happens this day. There is a type of a new way of thinking and looking at things, and it's finishing up a Mercury retrograde story that's 2 months, that's gone through a lot of different relationships and transits in those 2 months, and eclipse, all types of things that have happened, connecting with certain other fixed planets like Pluto in Aquarius, Jupiter in Taurus, and Mars in Leo. I want you to remember, though, that if you were to have a situation where you want to connect with some other person, whether on an intimate level or it's the bank or somebody else, that has to do with how you acquire resources and how you're connected to other people's resources and how those connections do affect your daily life or the things that you want to aspire to. Usually we need resources and a set of things to help us achieve our goals. It will be illuminated that day, and so pay close attention, write down the notes, and try not to get caught up into any intense drama. When we get to June 5th, we have one of the biggest transits of the year, in my opinion, starts, and that's the planet Venus, which rules you, Taurus Risings, the planet of love and relationships and resources and money and harmony and harmonizing situations, enters the sign of Leo, a fire sign, a fixed fire sign, where now Venus is in Leo is going to say, look at me, look how beautiful I am, look how I'm expressing myself. I want to share that expression with you and share my generosity with you. That's if I like you. And sometimes can be a little bit like me, look at me. That's part of the story. That is happening in the house of home, the past, family, and memories, and lineage. And here is an interesting story that will happen from June all the way to October, actually, because Venus is not just going to go through the sign really quick like it usually does. It's going to go retrograde in Leo in the middle of the summer, and we have a long story here. One of the biggest transits of the year that where Venus in Leo has months to do its story. And when a planet goes retrograde, it will review and process and take things apart and put them back together again. Venus, which deals with beauty, in a sense, which deals with harmonization wherever it is, it being in the part of your chart of home, past, of lineage, ancestry, there is a makeover that happens here. There is something here about expressing your own self in this part of your chart, with people who are connected in that area of chart of home and family, parents, foundations, the past. So things flow for a little bit, but then they're going to go backwards in the summertime, and then there's going to be a story. And what I mean by makeover, by the way, is almost like how someone makes over, you can actually buy a new couch for your place or get some new drapes or something to beautify your home, or you're going to notice that you have to move things around possibly. That's one way it works, but it also works on a deeper level with relationships, Venus, and how you're expressing yourself and how people are expressing themselves with you about what they need and what they want. And this is a story that will happen all the way from June to October. When we get to June 11th, Mercury now enters the sign of Gemini, where it loves to be. It is home, and it is quick, and and can go from here to there, and it processes super fast. Mercury, which deals with how one message gets from one place to another, how we communicate, how we formulate our words, and how we communicate those things in whatever form, is flowing in your money house, which is the second house in astrology that deals with wealth and resources and assets. It also deals in the sense of how your desires and things are connected to those things and how you get those things done or accomplish those things. And Mercury is going to be on your side here, looking for the different places and different things and that can connect you to resources to make money and to give yourself hopefully stability in your vision of what wealth is for you and what resources are for you. Interestingly enough, on that day, the same day, Pluto, which has been in the sign of Aquarius since March and went retrograde, stopped motion in May, goes back into the sign of Capricorn, which before it was in Aquarius, it was there since 2008. And now Pluto's going to stop and go back into that place of your chart that deals with your career, how your public standing is, what you're the authority on, the stage that you stand on, and what's on your metaphorical business card. Pluto has one more story to deal with there, and it happens pretty much from June 11th all the way to the end of this year. And when we get to the end of this year, Pluto's going to move forward and slowly go back into Aquarius in January of 2024. You have some loose ends to tie up here in the career and public-facing part of your chart. So just be prepared for that. When we get to June 18th, well, we have a new moon that happens in I'll say our sign because I'm a Gemini. Gemini rising. I'll just be straight up. I'm Gemini, okay? And I got Mercury in Gemini, so yes, we have a new moon that happens in Gemini, again, in the part of our world and part of the chart that deals with money and resources. So we have a little theme here, if you haven't noticed here, and I think it's time here that the energy that Gemini brings, which brings messages from other places, it connects one person to another, one person to groups in multiple ways. It's a great researching planet too when Mercury's flowing, and this new moon in Gemini brings a new seeding moment there, and we want to take advantage of this. You have a little bit of a hint of this with Mercury being in Gemini before this new moon, and not only that, on the deepest level, I know this is a Taurus Rising video, and I'm talking like for Geminis too, but you have to take on the mindset of a Gemini, at least for the month of June. And you want to take this because Mercury was initially in your sign for 2 months doing a retrograde in the Taurus world. And now we're like, thankfully it's out of there and starts to move fast. And if we're going to move fast and we're going to take advantage of this, we want to think like a Gemini and be here and there and move like a butterfly when it comes to money, the acquisition of resources, and connecting to interesting situations and prospects that can bring you more money and resources. So the week of the 21st of June 21st, the sun leaves Gemini and goes into the Cancer birthdays. And then on the 26th, 5 days later, Mercury leaves Gemini. Now you can see how fast Mercury's moving through the sky. It left Taurus, went into Gemini for several weeks. Now it's already in Cancer. And this is the area of your chart and the place of your world that deals with friends, your immediate surroundings, and short journeys. And here Mercury in Cancer has a more emotional way of communicating in these areas with your friends, with relating to that, and just taking a walk around your neighborhood and being in a more emotional, watery place after being in a heady Gemini way of thinking. And so that starts at the end of the 26th of June. Of course, there is more to the month than that, and I will be doing a monthly forecast. You should be able to see it on the channel, so on and so forth, along with my weekly podcasts and forecasts. Taurus Rising. You've been through a lot lately. There's a lot of tension in the sky here with Pluto in Aquarius, Jupiter now being in your sign, Mars in Leo, Venus in Leo being there in fixed signs. You're on stage right now along with the other fixed signs. Don't let anything get in your way. Be smart, be practical because you're really good at that, and think long term. Your patience will reward you in the end. If you like this video and you like who I am and what I do, hit the subscribe button, will ya? And I appreciate you and thank you. And I'll see you on the next video.